Deck list number 3. Zera submitted this. It's called Hostile Takeover. First thing that I noticed is it has Fortuitous Water. I don't know if that's good or bad. Then it's also got regular Spirit of Water, which kind of makes me wonder why we're playing Fortuitous Water. But let's kind of dive into it. Ciel 1, 2, and 3. Condemned Trinket, which is something we just covered. Putting a banishing card from your graveyard, putting an omen counter on it. So it's a way to ramp your omens. Armoire. Banish Manchum. Ooh, I don't know how to say that. Armoire. Return one of your omens to your hand. If you do, banish a card from your hand to put an omen counter on it. So it's basically a 0-cost filter and omen. Looking Glass. Cards nuts. Divine Relic, Omni Shroud. If it's in your material deck, you may begin with it on the battlefield. Ignore elemental requirements of distortion cards you play. Inert Sword. This is why we're playing Looking Glass, it looks like. 0 costs. Weapon Regalia. It's a 2/2. You just pay 2 when it comes in, and since you're a Guardian, it's gonna be a 3/2, which is pretty nice. Bauble of Scarcity. Each player discards a card if you banish it. Death Essence Amulet. Whenever an ally you control dies while it's not your turn, you may banish Death Essence Amulet. When you do, look at target opponent's hand or memory and discard a card from it. And Shadow's Claw. Okay. Shadow's Claw is an interesting one. You are Umbra. It's a 1/3. We take that. Let's take a quick peek here at our main deck. We run Excalibur. Let's look at our targets for Excalibur. We've got Armoire, Condemned Trinket. Is it non-distortion? Non-distortion, yeah. Condemned Trinket, Armoire, and that's it? Question mark? Oh, and Shadow's Claw? Maybe you're using it for Shadow's Claw, but kind of defeats the purpose of it, right? So Shadow's Claw is basically there to have a 1/3 weapon so that you can attack when you're level 3. But you've already got 4 weapons between like your main deck and your material deck. You're like very infrequently targeting Condemned Trinket with this. Maybe you're targeting Armoire. I would have probably just taken a Fortuitous Spirit out and put in something a little bit more useful. So that you have an additional Excalibur target. Scavenging Raccoon, interesting. So this is maybe a little bit of hate tech for all the Rile the Abyss deck lists running around. Aquifer, Sensual, Hindered 3/4. If you have 3 or more omens, wake it up. And if you have 6 or more omens, put a buff counter on it. Okay, so we're turboing out omens to try and maybe turn this on, or it's just a 3/4 taunt, which is kind of like a Frostborn Paladin. I like it. It doesn't replace itself, which is a little bit sad, but can't beggars can't be choosers. Evercurrent Raider. Well, we can ephemerate this one, which is interesting. Extricating Touch. Okay. Fractal of Rain. So Fractal of Rain. Let's take a quick peek at our floating memory count. We've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 float. A third of our deck is float approximately. Is that right? Looks like it. A third of our deck is float, which means we're missing like 66% of the time. I don't love it. I think that if maybe our plan is to not imbue this. You think it's more for the omens? Just that you can put things in your graveyard so that your inherited will just always have a hit. Okay, I can see that. Let's take a quick peek here at the diversity of costs 3 2 3 2 3 2 2 3 2 3 10 5. So we have 5 8. We have a little bit of diversity in our reserve costs, which I guess isn't too bad. Like the vast majority of our cards are 3s and 2s, right? I guess some of the cards don't really care about different reserve costs. It just cares about having total omens, but like Pristine Scourge kind of does care. The chances of you like having 5 or more omens with different reserve costs pretty low. I suppose the goal here is just to turbo out omens through Fractal Rain, just so maybe it blows cheaper. Like you can recover a bunch from reparation. I'm wondering why Frigid Bash is in this list. You don't have a shield, so it's not getting discounted. Maybe it's just a cheap attack action. Let's see. We haven't gotten down here, but that's a good call, Crow. Let's take a peek at it. As long as you have 3 or more omens with different reserve costs, this costs 3 less to activate. Okay. Your omens have whenever an opponent activates a card with the same reserve cost as this omen, recover 1 and deal 1. So essentially the goal would be potentially to just have a bunch of 2s and 3s so that most cards are really awkward to activate. I could see that. 3s are a very common number for card activations. A lot of allies and a lot of cards are in the 3 category. So if you have multiple 3s in your omens, it triggers pretty frequently. I could see that. So looking through the list, not a ton of float, which means that we could be dropping down in influence pretty aggressively in order to get to level 3. We don't have a lot of ways to recuperate our influence to get back up once we're level 3. Fracturize looks like it's almost exclusively a target for opponents' regalia. Or items or weapons, rather. It's like pretty unlikely we're fracturizing most of our targets. Frigid Bash, just like a cheap attack action, maybe, or a cheap attack. Frostbinds, sure, Frostbinds are fine. Reparation's fine. Floating Memory, Recover, great. Obsequious Blow, not bad. Like, it looks like we should be able to theoretically get to the point to where we can cast it relatively cheap. The issue is right now a lot of games are not going to the point to where you can get like 5 omens into your banishment, 6 omens into your banishment. So this card might be very ambitious. Pristine Scourge, 5 cost, like Extricating Touch, because like you're never activating that second part of it. 5 or more omens with different reserve costs is pretty unlikely. So like maybe it's the 3 cost, so it's just like Extricating Touch number 4 and 5. I think I'd probably rather just have Extricating Touch number 4. Rivulant Adjutant, this is the one that banishes and goes into your omens. It's just like another 2 cost. It's fine. It's an acceleration for your omens. But you're still looking at card disadvantage here, right? A lot of these cards are card disadvantage. Like Excalibur isn't getting you anything that gives you card advantage. Scavenging Raccoon is just a tech card. Aquifer, it can potentially give you card. I'm sorry, it doesn't even go card neutral because it doesn't replace itself. I'm thinking of Frostform Paladin. I don't know. I think that we're going really low in influence, which is probably fine. It's possibly very fine. I feel as though with 3C Spite Drivers, 4 Scavenging Raccoons, maybe we're leaning a little bit too deep into the anti-graveyard and maybe hindering ourselves just a little bit. Some of these card choices like Frigid Bash, Fracturize, maybe some of our material deck maybe could be optimized a little bit. Wave Rider Protector, I actually don't hate this card. I mean, Floating Memory 1/4. 1/4 is pretty big, a pretty beefy wall. Plus it's a 4 cost, which gives you a different omen cost. not bad. Cheshire Cat, 3/3 bodies, Spell Shroud, Stealth, like on turn 3 is okay. Because you get to play it early for Looking Glass. You have to manually materialize Inert Sword. It feels a little bit worse in Ciel, to be honest with you, but it kind of looks like we're also leaning into Death Essence Amulet and Bauble of Scarcity to maybe use with Cheshire Cat potentially. Reckoning's Wake is pretty good. We get to play it as early as like level 0. Not bad. It doesn't replace itself outside of the fact that it's floating memory, but not bad. Suture Vortex. It seems like if we're trying to be like kind of cute with Suture Vortex, maybe we just go all in on it and be like 4 of. Maybe we get rid of like 2 Pristine Scourge, go up to 4 Extricating Touches, and go to 4 Vortex. Not 100% sure. I think the Excal is here to copy Condemned Trinket for extra omens. Combine that with the 0/1 Taunt. Maybe, but Excalibur is something that will take 2 turns to in order to turn into a Condemned Trinket. So you have to materialize Condemned Trinket and do nothing with it. Attack, play Excalibur, attack with it twice, and then you get another Condemned Trinket. It feels really slow when a lot of decks are killing you on turn 5. Feels like this is probably materializing things very slowly and a little bit awkwardly. So I guess the way that I'm going to phrase this is I think the deck is probably a casual deck. It doesn't look like it's fully optimized in terms of like a competitive look. It looks like we're aggressively losing influence to play a lot of these cards. And most of them don't have a strong enough payoff to kind of warrant their position in the deck. Like Evercurrent Raider, there's probably like 1,000 other cards that are probably better than this. Like, sure, you can ephemerate it, but a 1/2 body that you ephemerated, if you didn't use it for floating memory, might not be worth it. Excal is a copy for Armoire, abusing Ciel's level 3 to deal 2 unpreventable. Same with Cheshire. I don't know. I don't see it. Like, I see what you're saying. I just don't see it as being good. Like, I think that it could be fun. I think it's definitely fun. I'm still not sure what the Shadow's Claw is in here for. Just like a 1/3 weapon? The Graveyard Hate is because I play so much discard. The Fort Spirit is if I go first, so I can Scarcity without losing cards. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the deck has potential. The way that I would look at it is, like, frequently if you do get Fractal of Rain out, you're probably just banishing everything on site when you go CL1, right? I'd probably cut like some number of Scavenging Raccoons. I don't even know if Cheshire Cat's worth it, in all honesty. Like, what a Cheshire Cat has activated ability of Distortion Regalia. The only Distortion Regalia we have are these 2 at the bottom. Each player discards a card, and the Thoughtseize. I mean, I don't really like it personally. I'd probably cut the Cheshire Cat. I don't think a 3/3 body Spell Shroud Stealth is really getting you where you want to be in this deck list, to be honest with you. I'd probably cut the Scavenging Raccoons. I'd cut the Cheshire Cat, and I would lean into more of a mid-range control, like a mid-range value list, so that you can get a little bit more value out of maybe your Fractal of Rain, get some Frostworn Paladins. Like, I'd rather have a Frostworn Paladin than I would Cheshire Cat, or definitely more than a Scavenging Raccoon. Sure, I can see their value against like Rile decks, but you're like taking away all of your tempo to play a 1/1. So I don't personally like it in a competitive environment. It looks fun. I do enjoy fun, but if I'm looking at it from a competitive lens, I think that we'd probably optimize the material list by removing Fortuitous Water, Shadow's Claw, maybe looking for some more value in here, and then refining some of this main deck in order to have more of a consistent card advantage engine. That's how I would look at it. Nevertheless, let's take a peek at it. Let's drop it into TTS and see how it feels. Maybe I could be wrong. Let's see. We get to imbue Fractal of Rain, which is pretty nice. We probably, let's see. We can imbue, then we can play either Frostbind or Adjutant. I think we probably want to imbue like this. We'd probably imbue like this, and then I don't know. Maybe hold up Frostbind. We could play Adjutant. Doesn't have taunt, so it'd be kind of left alone. If we play Adjutant, it really prices us into leveling up with one of these two. I would prefer to not have to level up with an Adjutant. So if my plan is to level up immediately, I'd probably go Frostbind into memory and reveal it. I don't generally like to reveal my Frostbinds, but it really just depends on what my game plan is. If I don't level up, sure, this is supposed to be on the field. If I don't level up, I'm probably getting, like, it almost looks like I have to level up. So if I have to level up, I'm basically dropping one of these two. I'm leveling up. I lose my Frostbind. Womp womp. I go to level 1. I get my Mastery. I mill myself 1. I got a Floating Memory, which is pretty dope. And then I kind of want an Extricating Touch. So I'm probably like priced into Extricating Touch, playing this, getting an Omen counter on my Extricating Touch from my Instep trigger from Ciel. And then I've got a Taunt that basically turns into an Omen counter as well. Like, it's not a bad start. Then the question is, do I want to lose basically all, one of my 4 cards here to go into level 2? Or do I want to essentially kind of develop? I'd probably, looking at this hand, develop into Inert Sword, to be honest with you. Mill myself 1. We got a second Floating Memory, which is kind of nuts. I was talking about how I think the deck is kind of low in float, and we're just nuts at this game. Wreck draw. Then we kind of do this. This dies, gives me another Omen counter. I don't think we want either of these cards pretty frequently unless like we have to, but we'll go to level 2 off of them and just risk it for the biscuit boys. Like, do I want to discard? Oh, wait, I have to. Just kidding. Alright, boom, we discard this. Rip. The new Cheshire Cat interaction? Tell me more. Timeout. Tell me about it. Alright, we suck. Fractal of Rain. Oh. This is supposed to be here. I drew this. Isn't the sword pay to? Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right. Optimism. You're 100% correct. Like, if that's the case, then like my materialization is really awkward. I have to go for like Trinket. If you make a Regalia Distortion that has a class bonus, Cheshire gets the activated ability of the said distorted Regalia. So what you're saying is you make a non-distorted item, a distorted item, and the Cheshire Cat gets it. So you're basically using Excalibur. You're playing Excalibur on a non-distortion Regalia, which is something like Condemned Trinket, and it becomes Distortion, and then Cheshire Cat becomes it. So basically you're using Cheshire Cat as a deal 5. Like, I don't know. Like, even with that vision, right? Even with Excalibur copying this, so you can attack with Cheshire Cat, and if you so desire, you can sacrifice it to swap banishments just to deal 2 damage. It's still, you're losing a card by playing Excalibur. You're going -1. You're dealing 2 damage with it, or whatever with your mastery. You know, maybe you're doing more with it. And then you're getting a non-card advantage. You're just dealing a little bit more reach damage. I get it. I don't know if I particularly like it. Now we're talking, Bird Eye. You could play Ingredient Pouch, copy it, and Cheshire Cat could tap it together. Now we're talking. These are the plays that I like. Honestly, I think this played way smoother than I gave it credit for, to be honest with you. I think it was pretty decent. 1 second. I have to turn my camera off for just a second. I think it played pretty decent. It did not feel that clunky. My materializations felt a little bit awkward, to be honest with you. But, like, on the first go, I don't think it was that bad. I still don't think that I like the Scavenging Raccoons and the the Sea Sprites. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a value hog, you know? I just like my value too much. I'm starting to see the inspiration. I'm not starting to like the inspiration. I'm starting to see the inspiration. I'd probably say, for me, I'd play it to have fun, but I wouldn't play it to be competitive.